Dit is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss. What's up, guys? This is a big episode because we're talking about the U.S. Open. We just got done. I just got home today, like at 2 o'clock today, went straight to the school from the U.S. Open. And, man, it's fresh in my mind. There's a lot going on, lots of craziness. And it was a great event, a huge event. And as always, it is one of the, the crown jewels of our sport, so and we had a lot of interesting things that happened this year, but a lot of new things that the U.S. Open presented. So I'm excited to share about it and discuss it.
I'm excited to get into it with you too. So the U.S. Open always has so many unique experiences. Like I tell people if they're like, "Oh, I don't want to go to a tournament and just be stuck there all weekend." So, but it's like, but it's the Open, man. You got to go there at one point. Like if you don't go to the U.S. Open, it's kind of hard to say you did this at the highest level.
Correct.
Like, and it's not hard to say. You can say I don't think you did.
Yeah.
So, but
let's just highlight. We got people coming in and commenting. Thank you guys. It's comment when you're here and let us know that you're here. Jerry Gross said great event. He had a big weekend. His daughter had a huge weekend. Joey Perry, this dude, I don't know if he's walking or standing right now. I mean, he had, if you don't know, everywhere. He was all over the place, running all the underbelt rings, all this going on. It was nuts for him. I probably didn't have a voice.
Wow.
And same thing with Hiley. Andrew says biggest numbers seen. Well, I agree.
That's really cool.
He said his division numbers were bigger in the past than they were before, especially like the 50 and 60-year-old. They had good numbers, and it was solid in the 30s and 40s as well. So, and the fighting numbers, that was the big thing. The junior fighting numbers were crazy. Were so big. Like one of the I think 16, 17 boys had like 42 in that, and then like the open weight took a long time for those juniors. It was wild. So yeah, and I believe there was like 15 to 16 more, or maybe even 20 more men's open weight fighters than there was last year. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's their biggest numbers and in a long time. And then also, this is a huge stat too that I was told by Corey Schaefer, was 25% of the event was international. Like for a big tournament like this, that was huge. And another thing about that too was that not only was it people that are international, but like the presidents of other international.
I heard Roy Baker was there too.
Roy Baker was there. The president of WKU was there. There was a team from the WMAC. There was a team from, of course, obviously ISKA. They had so many. So everyone was wanting to be at the U.S. Open, so it was wild. 34 in the 15.
Wow.
What's up, Beta? You were all over the place as well this weekend.
Well, see, that's good to have because we have to have like an event or three where it's like, listen, this is the where were you type of event. This is the here's where we want to get around, because it really can produce a lot of growth. And that's where we said this a few years ago, when COVID was happening, that we said, hey, we may get to the point where we're not going to have a ton of national tournaments. We'll have like a half dozen and then just a bunch of regionals. Because kind of if you were in that like middle range, like what are we, Are we a super regional? Are we kind of a national? What are we? That's kind of it's not the best place to be, you know? But then there's ones like they're clearly national events, but are you going to stay at the top? So this is great that so many people want to be there, and that's what you want. So this is one of the rare times where I feel like watching the videos, I don't think I captured what you did when you were there, because sometimes watching all the streams, like I can go here, I can kind of capture as much info as I can. But this is one of those events where when you're at the US Open, you got to feel it, man. So
Yeah. So yeah, Alex, I'm gonna get into that because so one of the things is like my instructor was there and it was his first time being there since 1994. And when he walked in, you know, I had his band because I helped him register and stuff. And so I was trying to find him and I'm trying to explain things to him and just, you know, how big the event is. And I was walking in with him. He's like, whoa, okay, this is big. This is bigger than what I expected. And he's been to, you know, all the major tournaments, but
right.
you know, if you haven't been there since 94, if you haven't seen some of those, it's wild, right? And he's like, okay, there's tons of people here. This is awesome. And so it was pretty cool, you know, just explaining that to people of how crazy it was. Again, Thursday night honestly looked like how they usually, like last year's Friday. Thursday was huge. And then Friday, it was just like on a whole nother level. Okay. Friday and Saturday. And those days took a long time. I mean, but there was just massive numbers of people. And you know what? The US Open has to do a lot more things during the daytime than almost any other tournament. You know, you're running the overall grands during the day. You're running everything during the day, you know. You also have multiple things going on at once. You're having a world championships going on for breaking in one room. You have sport MMA going on. You got the ITF tournament going on. You have production, everyone getting together what the show is going to be, right? And implementing it into the Mad Action system, and you making sure you get your text that you're in it or not, you know? So it's wild, man. Like,
how did that go?
As far as what?
The Mad Action system and the getting the rings, getting the
yeah,
text.
I think you know what, Mad Action continues to grow and do great. I know for me, I had a great experience using them for my tournament, and I think they did a great job. I mean, again, that was someone there were certain people that I never saw until the end of the weekend because they were like in a room running things, you know, it's crazy. And, but for me, I think this was a whole nother realm of like, especially the past 2 years when it was on Triller, it's pay-per-view and they could kind of go as long as they wanted to.
Right.
But for this, it's like 6 to 9. That's what is happening, you know, like on ESPN Plus. And I think they ended 9:03, maybe 9:05. So not too bad. And, you know, one of the ones that was supposed to be in the pre-show, they didn't run it because they had to start right then and they couldn't run it. So they moved it to the very end of the whole show. So you go from going to the pre-show at 5:45 to not going until 9, you know? So there's a lot of changes with that, but that's just live TV. That's sports, you know? So.
Well, if you think about it, like to say that the US Open used to be on tape delay would be a gracious statement. We weren't on tape delay. We would be at like 2:30 in the morning on November 8th, you know, after the whole tournament's over. Like it wasn't even like, oh, it's going to be on TV next week. Like, nah, it's going to, you're never going to see this. All right. You're never going to see this.
True. Yeah. Now it was live and then you can go back and watch it on replay whenever you want, you know?
That's really cool.
I know the hard thing was because it was a lower level type thing, you know, it was, you couldn't find it. It wasn't on their main thing, featured thing. So until it went live, and when it eventually, as soon as it went live, it was right up there. You could click it, but you kind of had to look, you know, through the schedule and stuff. So that part made it a little bit harder. But again, the more we go out and support it, the more replays we watch it, guys, the more you go and share and share it with people, like, let's go. I mean, seriously, it's ESPN Plus. If you don't have that, I mean, are you even a sports fan? I mean, come on. Yeah, you have to it's it was strict, man. And I was explaining to people, I was explaining to like Luca, who was competing against me. I was like, I don't think we're gonna go until right at 8 or maybe 7:50. We were at the very end of the second section, and we were on like the third page of the thing. He's like, yeah, but there's only like 12 events. I'm like, yeah, but you got to think there's a commercial between each one. There's other things. And then you also have 2 team fights, which you never know how. That's the most unpredictable one that could be, right? So it's really interesting. It's hard to get prepared for, especially as a competitor, just staying warm, when to get ready and stuff. And then for me, it was hard because, and yeah, that's the tough, man. They don't have ESPN Plus in Canada. So that's something that's the next thing to really work on, is getting, because there's a lot of Canadians there, man. So again, for me, I went and did traditional grands, and then 2 events after was demo. So my team is getting ready and pumped up and warmed up together, but I'm not really in that realm. I'm in my own, realm, and then have to get back and then completely change and just get over what happened and go into, all right, let's go out there and put on a show.
That's
so
hard. I hate that.
yeah.
I can't say like, oh, I hated it when I used to do that. Like, no, I never did that. But I would hate having to do that. I put my mind in that. And I'm like, no, this is the highest point of the tournament. Like, for your months of training leading up to it, you train thinking about this stage, right? As we all do. We all train. We all think like we're gonna be there, and a very, very small amount of us actually crack the ability to be there. But to have to be double-minded to be able to be like, here I am in here, and now I have to. Yeah, this is hard, man.
Well, and especially
for me, on and off like that, it's too much.
And again, if I was doing like creative or something, if I end up being up there for the senior grands or whatever, that would have been different. It would just been like doing another division. But when you're thinking of stuff that has to be in sync with people, and you're having to do hand techniques that you don't really, remember or don't normally do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was a lot for me. And so, I mean, it was also one of the first years, I think, that we weren't really allowed to be on stage before, to prep before. So with the demo, I think that's the most important time to really do that, or sorry, the most important division to be able to do that, because you have so many bodies. You got to figure out how long it's going to take, and there's a time limit of when you should get on the stage and everything like that. So it's interesting, man. I tell you, I said all those years I hated team demo, but there are certain parts of me that hated it, like the 4-hour practices on Wednesday and the 2-hour practices.
I don't think you said you hated team demo. You said you hated team form. Like, basically you were insinuating team sync.
Yeah, that's true. Demo, yeah, but I tell you what, man, being up there with my team was amazing. Seeing all the young kids get this opportunity to be up there. And yes, demo, I mean, I love it. It's so much energy, so much fun. And yeah, it was just a cool experience for me. I'm going to, being able to share the stage with one of my best friends, with Tim Conkle, and also one of my best friend's sons, Jack Sykes. Corky Sykes is one of my best friends in the sport. And, to be able to be up there with that was just awesome. And all the way that we came together to be able to do that. And it's the same thing with like CE, they are just Competitive Edge. They're just a huge, awesome team that are not together all the time. Just like us, we're not together all the time. And, but dude, freestyle killed it. They brought out those lightsabers and the whole crowd went, oh, dang. Okay.
Well, team demo is actually pretty cool. If you think about it, when you're explaining team demo, well, you don't even have to really explain. If you're not explaining anything about a karate tournament and someone just gets to watch it, team demo makes the most sense to them. So somebody who doesn't know anything about martial arts, they can look at this and go, well, that one's the coolest, so that's why that one wins, right? That's the coolest, they win. And this is pretty simple. It's pretty much how it works, right?
Right.
They're cooler, they win. I like it more. That was more fun for me to watch. And you get a chance to do everything, right? Because you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want. So it's a lot of fun. And so when you are doing something like a team
That's right.
sync traditional, it's hard, right?
Right.
If you don't know martial arts. And since we're on TV, we are appealing and reaching people who don't really know how karate tournaments go. And if you kind of show them
Yeah.
what they think karate tournaments are, which is Karate Kid, and then you go, oh, I guess it still is kind of the same. All right. Why don't I just watch the Karate Kid? But then you watch Team Demo and you're like, never mind. This is like some sorcery. All right.
It was wild, man. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, Joey, thank you for that. I mean, again, being on stage, and my teens, my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, man, it's just a blessing to be able to do that. And I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Go ahead and get that out of the way so we can talk about all the other stuff. But my experience of being on stage again this year, you know what? For me, like I said before, I just want to go out and be a martial artist and be a performer. And I think, you know what, like, it's hard to get a lot of people yelling and that hype doing a traditional form. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And then also just the crowd being on my side, not just my team, but man, there was a lot of kids that were yelling for me, which is crazy. And then the other thing is all the legends that were there. I think when you have the generation that you looked up to, and then the two generations ahead of you that you looked up to when like I was growing up, that
Right.
were all like that all weekend showed me respect, cheered for me, were there for me, were just amazed that I'm still doing this. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's really hard to even put into words, because as a 10-year-old, I wouldn't have thought, that Carmichael would have ever been a huge fan of me, that Chris Casamassa would have came up to me and were, like on stage, Hakeem Austin and all those guys came up to me first when we were all standing there for demo and gave me a high five. I'm like, hey guys, go over there to freestyle. They won, like, but it was just cool. Right. And, really just love it. So I'm just blessed for the opportunity to still do this and still love it. Right. And, I just wanted to get out there and do a form that I've never done on stage before. So it was really cool. And yeah,
I got someone who wants to say something. Hang on.
what's up?
Good job, Jeff.
Thank you. I can't see, but
No, I don't want. He's not wearing all of his clothes, so he's gonna stay out.
Classic. Classic. I love it. Thank you, bud. And again, yeah, that was the thing. Legends at the US Open. So, man, it was cool to see the WMC Masters. It was also amazing to see Pedro Xavier there. Man, like, so cool just to see all those legends there. People I hadn't seen in years. It just amazing, right? So, who were some of the guys you guys saw
That's
there?
really what we want out of a tournament like this, is to have one where alumni and past champions are like, you know what? I see the calendar. Yeah, let me go check out the Open this year. All right.
Bro,
And
we haven't seen Pedro at any tournaments until last year's Rhode Island was like first time I've seen him in years.
Yeah, that was Rhode Island.
And now he came to the US Open.
But before that, what was the last time before that one?
I really don't know. It had to be somewhere probably in Rhode Island, but
I think it was like 2010 Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I was thinking something nutty like that.
Right. And so, they had the Maya event, which does help bring in a lot of people. And I think they do an awesome job of giving those guys, a ticket to the finals and packing that finals. It's crazy how, the pre-show, it's quiet in there, man. And then all of a sudden it just fills up. And, it's hard to describe. The one thing I know, every year, some years we're able to get a TV in the back to be able to watch the show. Some years we're not. This year was one of those years it was not. So that makes it a little difficult because you want to watch, you want to see, but you also can't be peeking through the curtain. So
Yeah.
lots of rules at the U.S. Open. No practicing in the hallways. That one is one that I think gets everybody. I think that's a fun one for us to discuss because I mean, so many.
So many things have happened in the hallways.
Yeah, but how many times did you get yelled at by the security or the hotel staff? There were some funny situations with that. So
Well, I want to hear it because I remember, but okay, I'm going to go back in time to young adult years for me, right? Where we would just create trick circles in the hallways,
oh yeah, that's right.
right? That was fun. And there'd be just like a mob, right? Of
I
people.
actually missed that. That's not really a thing much anymore, man.
No, it's not a thing.
It's really
It's not
weird how
cool.
it's
It's not cool for the kids to do anymore because there would be guys that would just like go to the tournament and would have nothing to do except for just watch some of the competitions and then be a part of a random trick circle.
Yeah. Or there would be some like just come to do team demo and then just do,
Would be like the guy like oh my gosh, did you see Daniel Graham? Like Daniel Graham competed? No, he didn't compete, but he was in this trick circle. And you're like, what?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. It was a lot of fun, I'm trying to think of some names that I saw that, I hadn't seen in a long time. I mean, so many, of course, but it was just a good experience. All right, we're gonna go all over the place. I'm gonna go ahead and talk
Is it all
about.
right if I give? I have a short little one. I don't have a lot of ones I want to leak, but I want to say this one. So watching the streams,
Okay, that's good.
I think Regina Thompson, centering the women,
Yeah.
she did a phenomenal job. Like I was,
Phenomenal.
and she didn't just take control. She really set the tone. Like the way she was officiating everything, she basically controlled how the fight. She didn't really control how they were gonna fight, but she like her demeanor really kind of like was like we're going to fight. Let's go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
having to push it and force it.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Shout out to Regina.
Yeah, Regina was awesome. All right, I'm trying to think where I'm going to still go with the finals because I feel like the finals, the way it was set up and the idea for it was kind of like a rock show, right? Like you go to see Kiss and they start with, one song to get everybody's energy up and they finish with another song to keep everybody going, and that's how I feel like opening to closing was just fire. They opened with men's CMX Grand and they ended, well, the idea was to end with the weapons CMX Grand, right? And so you're starting with Salif, Philip, and Esteban and going at it and throwing crazy stuff. And then you end with Ben, Dawson, Philip, Esteban. I mean, you can't ask for, any better way,
Well, see, that's perfect. It really is. The
Yeah.
only tough part is how the heck, like whoever follows the men's CMX Grand immediately follows is gonna be like you got to be stressed a little bit. Like, you tell me I'm gonna follow that? I mean, I'm thankful to be here, and I was damn good. But come on, man, I ain't Salif, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I mean, it was really
like,
cool.
you can't then go, all right, girls 13 and under, traditional weapons.
I think it was. It wasn't 13 under because they were in the pre-show, but I think it was one of the 14, 17 groups.
But you see what I mean, though? Then it's like, I actually love the idea of that. It is great, but it's like, it's just the nature of the beast. There's going to be a drop off that has to happen.
Well, I tell you what, if there is a second division that is, or even honestly, it competes to me with watching that 18 plus weapons grand is the 14-17 boys weapons grand. I mean, the runoff during the day was freaking crazy. And everyone was nailing their forms. And then the finals that night, again, another one and another battle, Judah, Zeke, Gavin. During the daytime, you also had Jackson. You had Nolan. Like, it was just crazy. So many amazing athletes. And I was standing there next to like Mark Russo and Reed and Colbert. Like, dude, this is just crazy. Like how can you even judge that? Because every single one is creative in their own way. A lot of them are doing different weapons, and every time the level keeps getting better and better. So, for Zeke to pull that off and to win during the day and the night show, huge win for him. So it's amazing. Yeah, those 14, 15, and 16, 17 divisions, they went forever. They had to split almost all of them. It was wild, man.
How do they do that for points when they split them?
What they do,
I'm not a points guy so much, but I'm just curious.
They take like the top 10, I believe, that are in the rankings, and they go to the second round, and then they take like the top 4 from that first group that make it, and then they add them in. Yeah. So, yeah. And yes, This was a cool encore. I agree there, Megan. And this is the one I was talking about. This was supposed to be in the pre-show, and then it got changed, and now they're ending the show. So that's a whole different thing. At least they had plenty of time to prepare for it, right? But when you're thinking you're ready to go, and then, hey, sorry, time went out. You're going to be moved now. So when we can fit you in, like, it's wild.
How was the production of, like, when you were in the building and you're there for the finals? Like, how was that production?
To me, I feel like it's gotten a lot better. I know one year I just felt like, man, it just seemed less than.
Just seemed okay.
Than what it used to be when I was, younger, or even like 2015. But this year was at a whole nother level. I mean, it's just something when you bring ESPN in, man, it's just, it's a whole nother level. So, yeah. Oh, man, the men's divisions were crazy. Like,
wow.
Like, again, Friday, like, they started at 9. Well, I started at 8 a.m. Okay. Everybody else started at 9. And a lot of them didn't end until about 7 p.m. Like, that's how big and stacked the divisions were.
That's just too much, man.
Yeah. So it was crazy. So, yeah, Abey is saying what I said. Yep. So, yes, the commentary was great. I've only heard a little bit there, Kathy. I was able to, someone sent me my form to hear, again, like what we talked about, Jackson talking about the water bottle. So,
yeah, that was pretty cool.
But
I had thought, you had a guy like Carmichael Simon in the building.
Dude, and a great talker like that too, man. Like,
wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah.
To do kind of like what they do in other like combat sports. If Jackson's he's in the booth. He's phenomenal at that. Stay there. You're awesome. Don't anybody else take that away from him.
Right.
But then you cut to Carmichael on the stage, right? Telling you what just happened. This is a big deal.
Right.
And let me tell you about who's coming up next.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of like what Reed is doing now, most tournaments, right? It's pretty much, like it's really what Reed did at the battle. So, and he does a great job at it.
Reed being on the stage, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think some people know John Worley's voice, have no idea what he looks like.
Oh, that was me for a long time.
You see what I mean?
Like, when he came on the show, like
no way.
When he came on the show, when we had him on, I guess during our first year, I was like, "Oh, that's that guy." Okay, like I literally had his voice and him as two separate people in my head.
Because you've seen him all the time, but you didn't know that was him.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, Joey, you're saying you can't because of TV, like you can't cut to that? Like, I'm just wondering, like,
you just add more things to it. So, I mean,
it's a whole nother big thing, but that would be something interesting.
And like Kathy said, they did that before with Kat before I know when I was younger, they would do the interviews right next to the stage and not in the back where but I mean, a lot has changed. So, um, yeah, it is a lot more fun to be up there and interact. All right, let's get into some of the fighting stuff because what I want to say is not really like talk about, oh, this fight, this fight. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get to see much. It was all over the place. Okay. And again, I want to invite a couple of different people on next week to talk about, those that had big weeks. But again, congrats to Philip and Esteban. They won those 2 divisions I was talking about. There's so many there. You guys can, mention the winners, some of the ones that you talked about. Again, I was on stage and with Luca and Mason Stillwell, another great champion, and he won. Again, just killing it. Always impressive. So right now, after this weekend, after the results, and really after results of battle, who would you say are the top 5 male fighters right now that compete in NASCA or compete, in North America? Congrats. Yes, Sarah killed it. Congrats to her for winning that ISK title. So proud of her. She's an amazing martial artist, and she has worked her tail off.
Top 5, huh?
Yeah, because you know what? Like for me, it's definite the way that that is ended right now with who consistently step their game up.
I mean, so here's the thing. This is where you can, it's being objective or subjective. It's like, yeah, if you looked at like a 3 or 4 month time span, there was a world in where Alex Lane was better than Raymond Daniels. There's no world in where anybody would actually utter those words. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Like, it's hard, but then you also have to look at it and go, Enrique has won quite a bit, right? And so you got to go, I mean,
bro,
right.
I don't see how you can't say he's not a consistent, like a solid number 2. If you're not going to put a number 1, then he has to be.
That's
number
where
2.
I would have him.
Yeah, it would have to be. So it's Bailey, him, but bro,
I know that's where
Kareem has stepped his game up so much. He's won the last 2 overalls. He's won, and I think he's won before, more than that too. And then he's been either in the finals of almost every open weight. Okay. I'm just proud of how I'm proud of the kid for how amazing he's fighting. And when he got on JPM, it was rough at first. I mean, I say, those guys are just killing it right now.
For who? When who got it was rough for who?
For Kareem, for D-Stacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it started off a little rough, and then you know what? Like now it's his time, man. It's crazy. So,
well, here's what it is. So he's kicking a lot better right now.
Yes.
And so he kind of had to kind of grow. We all as fighters have to grow. But you know what's funny is because you know this, because I know people have said this to you, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Is when you are someone maybe like Darren Kareem or you or I, in the sense that you can look at this fighter and go, that's what they're really good at. Their weapon is their front leg. It's harder for people to fight them. And so you're using your main weapon and you lose. People go, man, you got to use your hands. And you go, that's not actually good advice. You think this is great advice, right? But it's not when you really break it all down, right? Or if you're losing, like, well, just start punching. Like, okay, you actually don't know what you're talking about, right? But when he did end up doing that, like, he really just developed like a well-rounded game. I don't know how to say it, but like a well-rounded game. It just was some growing pains because he humbled himself and just was like, I'm going to do this. He probably did it more than I would have because he sacrificed winning, all right, by having to go through growing in that way as a fighter.
Yeah.
But that leg right now is looking really dang good. And so, I like the way I just like how smooth and how quick it's going.
Oh yeah, yeah. And what's cool right now too is like what everyone's talking about. Christian's back fist was on fire on that team fight. It was crazy. So, I mean, just amazing job for you coming through, man. That was a big moment. Some other big ones right now. Again, yes. So lots of repates, lots of first time, things that have happened. So Amber three-peating the traditional ISK title, huge. Also, both, I know Alice won 4 years in a row, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, the girls CMX. And I believe Pia did the same thing for traditional. So she won as 14, 15,
That one
16.
sounds right. Yeah.
So, well, I know, yeah. So both of those are, so congrats to both of them. Again, like Miss Jones said, Ben was able to repeat both of his sync titles.
I still can't believe that's still nutty to me. I don't think no. I know
Avery won. Avery won the weapons, the traditional weapons this time. Yep. Let's see, Mason Stowell. Yep. I already said that. Andrew.
So Ben Jones winning both.
Oh, for weapons, you're right. Miss yeah, for the CMX weapons grand, you're right. Got it.
So Ben winning both team syncs like consistently again and again and again. Like he's already Deion Sandersing it, and doing two sports really, right? Like this is it's not a normal thing. I've never seen it before. Has this ever been a thing before, Jeff?
Wait, oh, what, him winning both or someone? Well, it wasn't around then, you know what I mean? It wasn't around then. It was one division back then,
Right, but even then, could someone do two?
Yeah, there's some people with the ability to do it. Yeah, I think so. But yeah. And then yes, Amanda won her 3rd year in a row. Freaking awesome, she won the first one against the boy, when they put the 2 boys and girls against each other. She won that. Then last year won and the girls title, kept that one, and then kept it again. So you're saying Kat and Mark did 1 year. But I don't remember that being a thing where there was weapons and back then I didn't think it was separate, but maybe it was. Like a weapons team and a forms team, but it might have been. All right. People are asking why. Does anyone know why Bailey and K Swift did not compete in divisions or open weight? So I know Bailey wasn't planning to. That's what he told me. And I guess maybe that was the same that Kevin judged a lot. Why? I don't know. Bailey, he does that a lot, right?
He has said, here's what every tournament can be different, but what he has said in the past is, and it didn't sound like it was something that was like secretive. What he said was, he goes, I'm young enough. I've got a lot of years left in this game. If I make it to win a lightweight overall, I'm just taking it away from one of my guys. They have a chance. Right. So, and he's not bowing out.
Right.
Right. No, he's intentionally not even putting his name in the hat.
Right. Right. Yeah, I would love to see him in the open weight. I would love to see him in the open weight, but I think him doing the teams, I mean, it was what he wanted. He wanted to be up there and win that, because, and also too, people knew that was what was going to be on ESPN. That was the one they were going to put in the show, was the teams. Right. So, yeah. Oh, got it, Kathy. That was that was the first year. Wow, it's been that long. All right, so now we got. I'm sure there's other ones that we're Haley, of course, winning her titles. Opening to closing was fire. Let's go. We talked about our top 5 right now. Women's, okay. So again, I mean, who's going to put together a team to beat JPM? Like, I mean, bro, it's wild, right? It's wild. Yeah, and congrats, Eric Tremblay, congrats. I know for years he had been wanting to be on that stage. And congrats to him for making it there, but then also coming away with the title. And definitely it's cool too. Him and his son both won one on stage. I know it's something that he'd always wanted, so that's really cool.
Hey, can I give a random shout out? Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, remember that picture you sent me over the weekend?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, I meant to say that as well. Oh, dude.
So, Joe, listen, Jeff sends me this picture with no caption, nothing in there, just takes a picture of some guy, right? And I
And
immediately knew what it was the moment
Yeah.
you said. You didn't say anything, and so I can say what it was, right? I can say this, right?
What? Who I thought it looked like?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
All
go
right.
ahead.
So
This is his
sends me a
birthday, right?
picture. Yeah, and I'm like, this guy looks like a cracked out Joe Boone, like he was strung out for a week and a half.
Bro,
So
he
happy
did.
birthday, Joe Boone.
Happy birthday, Joe Boone. Yo, that's the first time I really thought it was Joe Boone wearing a bluey jersey, bro. A bluey jersey. I'm like, what is he doing? I had to
Was that
send it
what
to
he
you.
was wearing? A
Yeah, it was
bluey?
a bluey jersey, like a baseball jersey that had
Are we
bluey.
sure he wasn't strung out?
And I was like, yo, that's Joe Boone. And I almost went up to him, yo, what are you doing here, man? And then I was like, no. And I was like, then I had to step to the side and like take a picture without anyone noticing to send to you. But yeah.
Yo, so Joe just turned 35. So I talked to the guy today. So for his birthday, listen to what he did. He did 35 2-minute fighting rounds with 30-second breaks in between. That's disgusting. Right? That's a freaking lot of fighting.
That is a lot.
I wouldn't want to do that. But happy birthday to you, my friend.
All right.
We got a lot of comments going. Let's
Who's
catch
gonna
up.
stop Katana in the U.S.? Evelyn was the only one in Europe that gave her a great fight. Other than that, she is unstoppable.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
right
right
now, yeah,
she's the
she
best.
is. So I think that would be my only encouragement to Katana is like sooner rather than later. I mean, she's already dipped her toe in the European, fighting culture, but win one of those. Win, and it's like you don't have to go there and like prove anything that like if I win one of these, then I'll prove I'm good. It's not. It wouldn't be that. It's that like just what we're hearing already, right? That right now she's dominating. The only one that would have given her a run for her money, is kind of not. So what is it? Who are you going to test your skills against? So be there, go test your skills because the pool is a little deeper.
Well, here's the deal with that though. Katarina won the open weight this weekend.
Listen, both of them. I don't want, but both of them, right, should really be doing this, right?
Yeah.
Because it's really them and then the rest of the field. That's not to say like fighters like Yamena aren't able to beat them, or Savannah, they're not able to beat them. Sure, they are, and they have, but this is a little different, right? These two are winning it a little bit more consistently than everybody else.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's head and shoulders of who's the most consistent right now.
It's those two,
the most consistent. The other two, like when you say, yeah, but which one are we going to get? Which one? You could say that about everybody but those two. You know what I mean? Like when you really think about it, like saying that about someone that, okay, but you could say that same thing that they're not consistent to everybody else except those two.
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. And the other reason why I would really love to see Katana go and fight a little bit more overseas, Waco, is because when that happens, we all champion that person, right? We all do that. And we're like, now it's all of a sudden, it's like you're one of us, regardless of what team you were on, right? It's an awesome experience.
True.
She knows it. She knows.
I know Rashad said there's a lot of unexpected divisional wins in men's and women's, I think. So shout out to some of those. I didn't get to see as many. I mean, I know the guy from Scotland won his division that's on Velocity. fights in Waco. Cannot think of his name right now. And then you
Well,
also
drop in the comments, guys, of what some of your favorite moments or wins were.
I know Avery Sutter, she won, the super light for women. So that was a big win for her.
She's been knocking on that door for a while, so I'm glad
Yeah.
that she won.
So lots of great, Tobias won the lightweight grand and then lost to Enrique. Dean, that's right. Thanks, Rashad. Dean from Scotland won his division. I mean, man, there was fighters from all over the place, so
Well, that's good. And right now, here's why this is also great, because there's no Irish Open.
yeah. Yeah.
So, and the Irish Open was that, like, all right, you go here because it's a great fighting tournament, but it's also you go here because this is just where everybody goes. So
Right.
the culture is just of that. And so if there is another tournament that's going to be that, I'm not the biggest fan of the US Open, in years past.
Yeah.
But if it's
Right
going to be the US Open, I'll get on board. You know what I mean?
And I tell you what, right now it is. I mean,
But there
I
is-
think that the battle and now the US Open has shown that it's gone to that next level again, like it's getting there, especially with the international, experience that they're having. I think the best fighters in the United States go to the battle. I think that the best fighters from all over come to the US Open. Now, there are a lot of fighters that are from the United States that don't go to the US Open. I think eventually that will change, but who knows?
Right. So, but I like what Andrew and everybody else is saying about Bristol. Bristol does have that opportunity to be like that big tournament, because like there's no Austrian Classic anymore. So, best fighter, Point Fighting Cup, those ones in Europe, Flanders, those are like Flanders is like mid-level one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the highest. So
and I think Athens is done now too, right? Isn't Athens Challenge done? I thought that
I
they
did hear that, but I don't know for sure. So
yeah.
I mean, so if that's what it's going to be, that like the US Open might be the next one to take that torch.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And Rashad's right. Roy Baker was there. So this is a big deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was man, just overall, it was fire, man. Like the energy was crazy, and like I said, the junior boys and the junior girls, those divisions were stacked. So, all right, as far as some things that maybe, like I think, again, we talked about the international flavor. We talked about how big the event was. We talked about, and how big it is and still how well it ran. I know some people will complain about this and that, but dude, when you have that many people, what are you going to do? WKU team from Germany came. I tell you what, there was 10 teams in demo. There was probably 10 as well in the single A one. That was huge. The sync divisions were big. It was wild. Yeah, and next year all of these go to adult. Yeah, I agree. And all three of them have been so dominant in their area and what they do, but they've all gone back and forth and done each thing too. They've been successful in every area of forms, and then you add in forms and weapons, and then you add in PIA with fighting. So it is going to be exciting to see those three move up. I agree.
Pia is strange to me, because doesn't it seem like she's been she should have been in the adults the last 2 years?
Possibly.
Like,
I got one though. John,
bigger than the rest of the other girls.
John, thank you for commenting, because it just jogged my memory again. There were some that were left out, and I hate that about the show, because there is only so much time, right? And I know some people take it like really like personally, but sometimes it just is what it is. But someone who really deserved to be on that stage was Mitchell Street. He's worked his butt off all year. He's won the traditional grand and the overall grand at several events. And, I think he definitely should have been up there. There's just so many great competitors up there in the traditional that could have been up there. You know, I mean, also the same thing. There were no boys traditional that were up there, right? And so that made it kind of hard for some of those that think, all right, that I just won the grand championship, that means I'm going to go to the finals, and then it not happen, right? And I just remember even when, you know, we get second, for Caden as well, yep, and we get second for demo, and everyone's jumping, and I'm just like, guys, calm. Like, we don't know that they're going to take 3. We don't know that they're going to, you know, just
Exactly.
be excited that we got second and we beat those high level teams. Be excited for that, but don't think we're automatically going, you know? So you just never know what's going to happen. Like, again, for me,
That's what one of your
honestly, this year, I really didn't think they were going to put me in the finals. I really didn't think so, you know?
But see, that's having your experience on any team is going to be helpful.
Right.
Where people get all jacked up and you can be like, all right, calm down, hero.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been through this one before.
Yeah.
It's also like saying, oh, you're going to get a cash prize. You ain't getting no cash prize.
Oh yeah. Again, for me, my biggest thing that I still will gripe about, and I'll say this to them, and it is back. Yeah, you're right. She thinks they had a better chance because of the date, but next year it's back on the 4th of July. So we will see. But again, for the biggest tournament of the year and a 6A NASCA, they need to be given the runner-up money. They need to be given the full prize money. And again, that's the 3rd year in a row. And I know, yes, you're spending a lot with ESPN and everything, but when you sign to be a 6A NASCA, that's the first thing. The ESPN is the extra. You know, everyone else has to put that down, you know. So so I agree so I think, you know, last year it was a little bit more, you know, this one I got runner up in traditional grand, nothing out of it. You know what? I mean, it's not huge money, but it helps, right? But last year I think I got like 3 runner-ups. That would have been a lot more, you know. So I just think they could do a little bit better on that part. So,
well, right now, who's giving out runner-up?
And we know it's a time issue, Joanne. We know who is giving every other tournament. Every other tournament. Let's see. All the boys move up. Yes, all the boys, all the girls. Yep. Flights were a lot more affordable.
Well, yeah, they were more affordable. Everything was much better because of when it was.
Right. Yeah, there was none for 18 or I don't think for the senior either. So,
but see, this was when people talk about, I think people think about the one time where Mike Conroy boycotted a division, and they think, I think they think he did it like a dozen times. He did it at the U.S. Open.
He did it a couple times, but yeah.
But it's because of this, because all of a sudden, and there was a massive amount of people, of teams, and it was like, I don't know, it was like $200 to enter per team. And they were giving $300 prize money. That was it. Yeah. Right. And he's like, well, you can't do that. We were supposed to be.
Christine, you guys gave runner-up money. I'm saying that the only tournament that didn't give runner-up was this one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure about Pan Am's. I'm not sure if they did or not, but I thought they did. So, but yeah. All right. Oh, they're talking about, okay. Yeah. Love Ocean State. Ocean State's a great tournament. All right. What are you thinking, man?
If you have anything
you saw?
You know what?
Seriously thought this would be way longer. I mean, honestly, who knows what we're going to flip into?
Oh, I got something I want to I want to talk to you about. It's actually kind of nutty, but now that we're talking about this, I'm just curious if you were to give, because we keep talking about where tournaments are ranking.
Yeah.
What would you say is the number one tournament?
Like, as far as competition wise?
I think if you had to just encompassingly with everything.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would probably years ago I wouldn't have said this at all, but I kind of think AKA.
I kind of was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they've just stepped their production level up. They've done, and Battle to me has done the same thing. I think
I mean,
Battle.
but if somebody said the Battle, I mean, I wouldn't argue. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're pretty massive production as well.
Yeah, so I think those three, and then when you look at so it all depends on your division, right? I mean, I think for a lot of the junior divisions, U.S. Open is definitely the biggest, but I think some of the kids, like the younger ones, had more people at Battle. But and then Warrior Cup is just huge too with the numbers. But I think all three of those, and then Diamonds. I mean, to me, it's those four that are just humongous. I will say this: like in my division for Korean we had bigger numbers than the Japanese. We were at like 21, 22.
That's cool.
But the division, I think, was stronger at like overall with certain people that were in it and did it at like the Battle and Warrior Cup. Warrior Cup's division was insane for men's Korean. So,
but at the U.S. Open, you're going to have people who probably don't have a chance of cracking the top 4, maybe even the top 8, but they just want to be at the U.S. Open.
Correct. It's they've done the best with branding of probably any tournament, I would say.
What they're doing right now is what the Diamonds was doing.
Yes.
So the Diamonds had that to where you would have anybody in Wisconsin, definitely anyone in Minnesota, anybody like there'd be guys who would come from Iowa, right? And they'd be like, because it's the closest kind of one to them, right?
Right.
They'd be like, it's the Diamonds. We just gotta go, all right, because they just want to be there. And they did, and they were doing that. But the U.S. Open is doing that with people from Jamaica.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
So it's like, oh, well, it's a little trickier to pull off, but all right.
I tell you what, one of the coolest things is so they have, a room that has all the packs of all the teams, right?
Okay.
Of their registration, and they have it, and Corey Schaefer sets this all up, and he took a picture of it, and it was just so cool. It had, just big manila envelopes all around like this room. It had them like stacked and super. It was just awesome the way it was. Of like that's so many teams that do it, and I think they said maybe 50%, of the event was like teams, like they had 100 people from Guatemala, like they had just so many from different countries. So, they're doing it right, man. They're doing it right. And it's a good destination area. I tell you what, I'm not a big park guy. Like I did not.
What'd you do?
I stayed all yesterday. You know what I did yesterday?
You do.
I went to see alligators. Yeah, I held an alligator and I fed some alligators, and
freaky, aren't they?
Oh, it's crazy, man. I love it. And I saw some albino alligators. We rode.
That's freaky.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good little thing, Yeah, 70. That's what it was. 75% canal. I forgot what the number was, but yeah. Yeah, the room was. Yeah, Sue saw it as well. Yeah, so I think, dude, alligators. It was fun, and I've done that before when I've gone down there. But I got into like the boat and did it, and that was fun. But we went to Gatorland, Canel and I and Amy from Scotland. So that was fun. All right. I don't know who they said was the team with the most, Andrew. I don't know. I know, there's a lot of support out there for this event. So congrats. And the thing is now we got 2 weeks till Capital Classics. All right. So we're just right on that horse and keep going, So it's a crazy season. Yeah.
Can I tell you a tiny little story about what happened to me over the weekend?
Let's go.
I'll make it quick. I promise, because it's a little. I was like waiting when I had this experience. I'm like, I can't wait to tell Jeff. All right. So on this was a massively busy weekend for us, right?
Mm.
So Friday, I DJ'd a pretty big wedding at the Field Museum in Chicago. All right, and the Field Museum is my favorite museum. There's so many museums there, right? But it's one of those old Tartarian buildings that they lie to you and say they built it in like 1890 in like 6 months with horse and buggy. Yeah, get out of here, man. All this stuff is solid granite. Get out of here. But whatever, right? I'm there setting up early, right? And then as I'm setting up, this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey man, did you see him? Did you see him?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he goes, "Yao." And I'm like, "Ming?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like,
What?
"I forgot. What? What?" Like I'm home here trying to tape down, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Who are you? Right? And he goes, "He's right there." And he's pointing to this guy standing like every other Chinese man would stand, just with his hands behind his back, just doing one of these things, you know? And I'm like, he's just an old Chinese guy. And then I look and I'm like, oh, he's over the elevator. And I'm like, oh, what? And then he turned and I want to do the stereotypical all Asian people look alike. But no, you've seen Yao's face a billion times, so you know what he looks like. And
Yeah.
he turned and I'm like, holy crap, that's him. And I'm like, and he went up, like ducked the entire way inside the elevator, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's walking around with like his family. I'm like, this is not real life. What is happening? Right? What? Right? Time goes by, about an hour goes by. I'm done setting up. And I want to go to the gift shop. I want to go get something for my kids. And I'm just kind of walking through. I'm not really paying attention. And he's like right here, like right in front of me. Right. And I look up and I'm like, oh, hi. And he goes, hello. Right. But he was like, hello. Right. It is unsettling how large he is. It's okay. Obviously, it's not a question. That's the largest human I've ever seen. It is literally unsettling. Like I looked at him and I'm like, what is happening right now? Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're an actual giant. This is an actual giant. You're an actual giant. Like I saw Shaq before. This is way bigger.
Yeah,
Way
I think
bigger.
the only thing to me would be comparable would be I saw the great Khali, who was like this giant guy from India who became a
Yeah.
wrestler. He was on the longest yard. He was like crazy
He was
tall guy.
7 foot also, wasn't he? Wasn't he 7 or
he's
7'1"?
No, he's like 7'6", same as Yao Ming. Yeah, it's nuts, and he's big and wide, and yeah.
Yeah, he's probably a bigger, more unsettling than that.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, is your name Kali? No, it's Goliath. That's who you are.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
the
cool.
largest thing. I just couldn't believe it. Right? That was nuts. But I wanted to share that. I don't know. But so my next question was going to be, who's the largest person you've seen? But you just told me.
Yeah, I believe that was it. Sport Cry Legends, you're right. Real quick, when Picky from Legend, top 10, now he's on top 10, and Sebastian move up to adults. Yeah, I agree. Both those guys are amazing to watch. They're great fighters, and Picky's challenging himself internationally a bunch. I really would love to see Sebastian fighting Nwako as well. I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
You know, there's a junior. He's got a few years before he goes up. There's a few juniors. I think Sebastian's going to be great. By the way.
Yeah.
There's a few juniors that I'm like, in a couple of years, that I'm like, I actually think they could be something. Oh, got the kids from Atlanta, Traden.
Oh yeah, Traden.
Yeah, Traden. Yeah. But see, that's the thing is, you take an athlete like Traden, and you're like, he's going to be great at.
Yeah, I mean, he wins Japanese, he wins Korean, and he wins fighting. So yeah,
you know what I mean. So you're like, yeah. So he's someone who I think could be really good.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the more talented ones. And then Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Abdul Kadir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there are a few like juniors that I'm like, all right, let's see what this turns out to be. And I don't really like to talk too much about juniors, but not that I don't like them. It's just like, why are we getting hyped up for someone who's probably just going to end up going to go backpacking in Iceland, you know? How many times has this happened where you get this junior, you're like, man, they're gonna be something, and then they just do like 4 tournaments as an adult, and then you never see him again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I do think that we have some though that are sticking with it. I feel like the fighters stick with it more though than some of the forums, right? So,
Well, it
or
makes sense. Why? Because the fighters. Here's why. Here's why that's gonna happen. All right, because we know who Avery Presley is. We have known who Avery Presley is for years and years. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but like Sebastian, right?
Yeah.
I think they're
not
the same age.
yeah, not too many know everything about him because he's not on stage all the time, and right.
Exactly. So for Avery, and she's not saying, I don't think she is, but like this, if she were to go, "Ah, I've already won the US Open before. I've already won, you know, whatever, Amerikick before. I've already won." Like, but Sebastian can't say that. So that's why it happens. That's why fighters stick around a little bit more than forums competitors do. A forums competitor, like
Yeah, I mean, honestly, let's
be
go.
a 3-time champ of a tournament.
Yeah.
Before they're 16.
Like, we had this conversation with all the guys from WMSC Masters about how I'm one of the only ones still competing from that time. And Andrew and I, and they're saying he included that Gabe was the only one still competing from then but he's talking about Gabe Renaga because Gabe still competes in jiu-jitsu, right? Like as an active competitor in something, didn't just stop, So yeah, forums competitors sometimes peak earlier than fighters. Rashad is the oldest in the 18 plus right now. He's moving to 30 next year. So that's going to be fun. So yeah,
it's also hard when you're like, let's just say like adults to do CMX. It is very hard on your body to be that explosive and continue to do that. Rashad is a bit of a unicorn, right?
Yeah.
Continue to do that. There's not a lot of people that do it like that.
No.
Right.
No.
So
right. I think Tim Conkle is another one, he's 34 now
100%.
and still to be able to do that, so another one that I feel like should come back. Yeah, Reed is too. Reed just needs to get out there and compete. I mean, I would love to see Reed back doing it. But yeah, a lot of them are done by that 23, 24 range, Andrew, and we've seen it for years. We said Tim, Gandhi, Daryl Lewis, he's in his 40s. He could still fly with his back flip. I really hope. Oh, yes. Yeah. He'll be moving to 30. You're right, Kathy. I see what you're saying. Yes. So he's going to start competing.
But is he going to compete though?
I think he will. I think he will.
There's certain competitors where at times you're like, man, he's going to be 30, right? Yeah. And then there's some that are like, yeah, I thought you were almost 40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's exactly. Not Reed. That's not Reed. I'm not saying that.
So yeah, there was 1,000-person difference internationally. So like the domestic numbers were the same as last year, but the international difference was 1,000-person difference. That's crazy. So yeah, so I think it's going to be exciting. Wow. All right. I'm excited about that. Just by what Kathy just said about Reed competing. I know Rashad was moving up. So, all right, here we go.
It's gonna be a good division.
Yeah, I agree, Tony. They need to feature the junior fighters more. I think that's that's a huge deal. Quebec does too, though, Tony. Quebec features them really like heavily. Like they do set matches, they do teams, they do a lot of different things up there.
But I think they should. I think there's certain times, like I remember. I mean, I've seen some guys like featured, and that's where I saw them for the first time. So I knew to even go watch their divisions. Like I remember, it's a blast from the past, obviously, but like a fighter like Mark Nadeau, right? And I was like, oh, this kid's pretty good, right? Yeah. Right, I'm gonna go watch. I'm gonna go check out his division. All right, Because
Correct.
if you don't know, there's so many divisions. All right, Abeta, you're right. Bluegrass always did that. All right,
Always,
it's
everyone.
probably where I saw him. Honestly, right, it was probably the Bluegrass. Right, but there's so many divisions that it's hard. It's exhausting to try to know what's happening with every single one. You just can't. You can't put everything into it. Right.
Right.
If you happen to glance and you see something cool and amazing, you're like, awesome. That's why I love karate tournaments. Right. But you can't be like, because the times where we're like, oh, I want to go see this and I want to go see that. I want to go see that. Then you're exhausted physically, right, from trying to run and go see all that stuff. And you're like, I don't have the energy and time for that. Right.
Right.
So, but if something does come out and you're like, oh, all right, I go check this young fighter out. Let's go see what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
Yeah. Definitely cool. Definitely cool. So, man, who are some people that we should have on next week? There's a lot of different stuff. There's also some ones we talked about that kind of changed the game a little bit. So I talked to Pedro about being on the show. So that's in the works. We're going to be working on that. Yep. I talked to Mark Canizzato, talked to him. So we're going to be getting him on soon. Yeah, man, lots of good things, lots of cool stuff happening. It was a big weekend, man. It was a big weekend. But yeah. Oh, exactly. You're right, Andrew. That's how everybody knew how good and how most of the adults were worried about Brian Ruth moving up.
Yeah, but didn't Brian move up when he was 15?
And I had them both on last year after they won, Kathy. But of course, doesn't mean we can't have them again.
Didn't Brian move up when he was like 15 though?
I don't think it was. No.
But
They
it
weren't.
was like,
They wouldn't allow you back then doing that.
come on, now,
Double
Jeff.
scoop.
Yes, they did.
He was in the juniors for a long time, man. He was in the juniors for a long time.
I don't know, but I'm almost certain. I heard it from multiple people that he was pretty young when he moved up to the adults.
Well, he looked like an adult when he was young, so I don't know.
There's that.
Yeah. There were some crazy things that happened over the weekend. I mean, there's so much going on. Like, again, when you have something, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be different things. But so it's just funny sometimes how people react to those, right? I don't even know. It's just like again, there was some. Let's see how we're going to say this. I mean,
That hard?
Well, let's just say this, all right? At Friday, when we're running like runoffs that night, and normally you run them during the Saturday, right? They're running them Friday, and they're doing the overall grams. Those judges getting tired, bro. They've been there since 8 a.m. and it's almost 8 p.m. And there were several times where it was like, all right, this person's about to fall asleep. They got one more. Let's get them out. Let's get them out. And I think sometimes we need to trade them out more. Okay. The other thing I'm going to tell you, as a competitor on there, I really don't. They have, like, when you're doing the forms, they have like 9 judges up there just sitting, and I don't remember seeing them switch out. But I don't really know which ones are actually judging and which ones aren't. I don't know if we were using 7 judges, 5. I can't tell. They're just up there staring at me, and they're entering them in their computer, and it's just kind of crazy. So I don't even know what's going on half the time. Who's judging, who's not. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, you got to give them. Think about just nice touches that you could have. You're going to be there all day long. Yeah, getting food, that's important. But what if somebody came up to you and goes, "Hey, you've been here all day. I got to get you. I know you probably keep going. Here, I got you 2 shots of espresso."
It was 95.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, definitely. What was? Wait, did I miss something? Oh, Ben Jones is the man. Yeah, of course, Ben Jones is the man. We all know that.
Oh, so they're talking about having him on.
Well, no, I mean, I know Kathy talked about having Philip and Esteban on, and we've had Ben on. I think the only one we haven't had on is Dawson, and we need to have him on soon
That's a
too.
good point.
So, all right, they were using 5 because total scores were 49 something. Yeah, that's what I thought. But what's funny is Abeda, there was like 9 judges up there, bro. It's so funny. You're like,
They were using 5
yeah,
scores.
yeah. They were using 5 scores. I see what you're saying. But it was just
But
it was just
15
kind of
bodies.
funny. And there were some that I think needed. Again, some didn't need to be up there anymore. Like they judged all day long for 2 days. Why? Why? Right? So
I'm going to ask you. I'm actually asking. All right.
mhm.
In the finals, 5 judges. Is it that big of a difference between 5 and 3?
Yeah, I think you definitely need to have 5. 7 is probably the best for a finals, but I'm fine either way, 5 or 7, honestly, for a night show. But a grand should have 5. I mean, and I'm glad that all of us stepped up in the seniors because we kind of get the short end a lot of times, and they give us 3. And they're like, oh, we don't have it, we can't, we don't have it right now. And we just kind of said, listen, we definitely need to do it. Yeah, we got to rotate, Joey. I agree. But we almost got stuck with 3 judges that morning for grands on both of them. And
How do you
we
go
just said,
about saying no? Like, what do you do?
we just all said,
Just-
we're just not going to go until we get
You
5.
just designate a representative?
Yeah, but dude, all of us have all the experience. Let's just say, all right, we're talking about the grands. It's me, Eric Tremblay, Brett Thomason, and Tim Conkle. We got enough experience there, okay, to do it. One of the things that bothered me at the battle, but also I understand we were the very last thing going, was the traditional overall runoff only had 3 judges. If I had 5, it could have been different. It's a huge difference. So,
Okay.
So yeah, but yes, I agree, Kathy, because that was the weirdest thing to me as well. Was that because in all the other ones we have gotten 5 before, so I was kind of thrown off about that as well. Man, there's so many things up here. This is cool. Thank you guys for all chiming in.
Yeah.
All right,
We're-
actually, we
we're-
got
we're
one more.
loving it,
We got a
guys.
couple people wanting to come in, so there he is. Kid, what's up?
You're muted.
You're muted.
There you go.
What's happening? Hi,
What's
guys. Man, it's been a weekend. It was
I know. I
amazing.
saw a bunch of stuff from the weekend. Tell me
It was
about it from your
amazing.
perspective.
Wow, I guess maybe ask some questions from what you guys see from the outside, right? Because obviously being so immersed in it with three units of production moving through, I'd like to see if I'd like to hear comments on your guys' feed if you guys are at the U.S. Open, or Alex, if you can share what it was like from your guys' perspective, and I can share with you guys the inner workings from there.
Yeah, so Alex wasn't there, but yeah, I mean, from what he
I'm saying
saw,
from
but
online. He's saying he
Oh,
yeah.
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 So for me online, so I just got a chance to, what I was seeing more, it was just like people who were stopping by the booth. It looks like you got a lot of people getting pictures, all right?
Yeah.
Which was cool, all right? So I just thought that was the cool part for me because I'm jealous. I wish I would have been able to at least do that, but that would have been fun. So I don't really know a lot of what was happening from the WMAC side from the event.
Sure. How about for you, Jeff?
Yeah,
Going
so
through
for
the
me,
arena.
I mean, it was just great seeing all the faces talking. I got to do some interviews with you, sharing, telling people to go visit over there and visit the booth, people that I knew that, they need to see. And just really talking to the competitors about what it is. Because again, you got to remember the people we're trying to recruit, they have no clue what you're talking about a lot of times, right? And so
Absolutely. Yeah.
really, that's what I know is just rebranding and educating and letting them understand, hey, is this like a big deal? Is this and explaining like how this was the top competitors went to, you know, this show, like, and this is what we're trying to provide now for this generation. So it's really cool.
No, absolutely. And you guys, you both hit it right. Is, being there in the present, like 27 years later, right? Just in general, it's a new community, a new generation, and working through reviving a brand still takes education. Just being there, knowing that we had some amazing legends that were doing interviews, as well as sharing their testimony was fulfilling as well. I also think having the booth there with the health products, sharing the additional individuals, video game, as well as what ignited all this, which was the book from Chris Landis was amazing. Having Eric there, like I said, Matera with the game was amazing. Obviously, Scott and Ariel on the health and wellness products, and obviously we had Hakeem come in last minute.
Yeah.
And it was nice to
He
see
wasn't even
him.
supposed to be there.
No, I mean, is you he's one of my masters in the jewelry system. So, for him to come out and just simply just embrace the situation, it's sort of like the Mr. Miyagi situation of you have it, right? Is
Wait, whoa. Time out. I didn't know he was a junior black belt as well.
yes.
Yeah.
So, if you ever watch me compete, you'd never see Charlie next to me, but he would always look at me and give me that Mr. Miyagi look. It's like focus, and that's sort of what Hakeem was there for me. Just through our relationship outside of any brands or even the sport. He's family to me, and he's a representation of Grandmaster Ree, in our association. So he came out. Obviously Chris was there, and
Yeah.
Bridget, Christine, and Sophia. And
Yeah,
having
it was-
actually Sophia's husband is worked for coordinator for Power Rangers, and obviously Chris with Mortal Kombat. So he basically had three major, I guess, 90s animation representation and brands there at the same time.
Right. Right. Yeah, it was really cool. And then, I mean, wasn't necessarily a part of the WNC Masters, but man, he should have been. Was seeing Pedro there. That was just a cool thing.
It was
So,
amazing
yeah.
as well.
What would his name have been? His call sign? Probably the Axeman.
The X-Men.
And it was and obviously his product. So I was like, I know people at the booth, they were signing the release
Yeah.
forms, taking, having transdermal products shared with them with the new health products that, that are coming out or have been out. So make sure you guys look at wmachhealth.com. And like people are just like missing themselves, so with obviously the miss or the control that you guys have, is it's all there on the website. That is the next part of this phase is as we look through documentation and try to figure out next steps with the handful of shows that we have is where to segment all the content to be able to
Okay.
educate this new generation. But in the meantime, is continuing to do product development, purchasing of obviously all the product sets that are online from WMAC Health. And hopefully there's some more opportunities here with regards to sharing from moving from auditions to casting here later this year.
Awesome. Huge, man. When's the next time you guys are going to be out, or are we going to see people? Yeah. What's the plan next?
There's conversations that are happening. I know I'll just share too, right? Obviously the ISKA Brazil, they were really happy
Yes.
to
Yes.
see,
I was
to
there
see
for that
us.
one. That was really cool.
Yeah, you were in that conversation, and that's a new market, and especially to bring a show that my understanding is they used to watch that show back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And
Everybody
go
did.
ahead, Alex. Yeah.
Everybody watched it back in the 90s.
Yeah, but he says
Yeah.
people are still fans of it now. Like
Now,
says, yeah, like in Brazil, it's a huge show. Like they love it, So
yeah.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So, sometimes, like I think shared with you guys at the beginning, sometimes American media still has a life shelf overseas.
Diamonds.
You know,
Yeah. Christine, it was Diamonds 94 when you did that.
so
Wait, who asked what?
When Carmichael came out as the Crow.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that many times.
And I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys too. I have to say, coming back, and you guys have always embraced me with regards to allowing me this platform to share history. And it was nice to see the new generation of talent, and now they were able to actually meet me, and I obviously meet my friends from WMAC.
Well, what are some of your takeaways of the athletes you saw, in person?
It, quite honestly, I saw the opportunity to share young women, family, faith. And it seemed as though things were transitioning to women that love performing. Yes, they know how to combat fight and they do point fighting, or they grapple and they do other types of art form. But the athletes that I saw perform, like a Maddie, I'll just throw it right out there.
Maddie
Mhm.
Kenaway.
Yeah, I mean, she was very captive, very sweet, very low tone voice when she interviewed, but when she was able to just bring all that energy in, take a moment, and you can see her switch into focus and concentration and execute her performance. And correct me if I'm wrong, but she lost that night at the
Yeah.
Night of Champions. But to go through that emotion and then have to sit there on stage live during a broadcast,
Yeah.
I have to commend the composure of an
Yeah.
athlete like that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's honestly, we all are here for the same win, lose, or draw. We're here to promote not just sport, karate, martial arts, in the way that we deal with failure and loss or challenge, which just becomes really ambition. And that's what I learned this weekend too. I learned about ambition, right? So it's, what is going to be the quest for the next. And that also applies for me.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, it was huge, man. I was excited just to see all you guys there, and again, I said this earlier in the show that I think probably one of my biggest successes in this sport is that the generation that I look up to and the generation above, even, like, let's see, because really you were the generation before me, but before that was Chris. And for
Yes.
and for all those guys, all you guys to show me so much respect, man. Like I can't even, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I couldn't
I'm
have had
emotional
a
right now.
better I couldn't have had a better crew come back into the situation. And that's
Right.
also the two of you.
Thank you, my friend.
I mean, you guys set it up. You guys set this all up.
Amen.
I appreciate, I have to encourage you because you guys have endured this with the amount of episodes you've done for the last, what is it? How
Almost
many years
6
have you
years.
guys? Yeah,
Almost 6 years.
yeah.
We're two episodes from 300. So yeah.
Wow. And we got here,
Yeah.
as a community. And
Right.
I also have to say, we were talking about what's next. And we talked about Brazil, but I do want to make sure that there was an invite for K-Talk. So
Awesome. That would be great.
and maybe that's the next venue. We would love to continue auditions. And
In New York would be great.
if we get blessed to bring this to New York, it'll be a whole nother look and feel and environment and scene. So,
Yeah.
Holly,
Awesome.
call
Awesome.
Scott.
Yeah.
WABCmasters.org. Contact us and we'll just, let's continue the relationships. And if there's any other promoters that would like to have this opportunity. And as Jeff showed, the VIP ticket, we'll just continue to look for talent. And once again, like I said, taking this talent and putting them and casting them on social media, as well as, pushing this product, this WMAChealth.com product set.
Huge. Huge. Thank you, Carmichael, man. Thank you so much. Great
Absolutely.
seeing you, brother. Yes.
What is that? Is that a flag?
Do you have it, Jeff? Are you able to show it to him?
On me right now. It's in my bag. I just got in today, so it's in my bag.
So I'll have to get one for you, Alex, but it's a WMC Masters return blanket.
Blanket, yeah.
Get one of those. Should we get one of those?
There
We should. Say yeah.
Yes.
it is.
There it is. Oh, that would be huge too.
And then we got
Canada
some
would,
stuff from Moto as well. So
I know. I've been looking at the swag. It looks cool.
yeah, so we got the old, the retro logo with the WMAC corporate logo.
Love it. Love it,
Yeah.
man.
This is awesome.
She did great in the interview as well, Leandro. She did great.
How
Amanda
many
did.
people would you say you interviewed over the weekend?
I don't think he knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I loved every experience. I think every story was told.
Yeah.
I think that was the most amazing part. And I learned through the process of meeting a new community.
Mhm.
And like I said, I commend you all. You guys have done well 30 years later. And you guys know you've all grown through this as competitors and building new platforms.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was a great event.
Wow.
It definitely was. Awesome, man. Well, thanks, kid.
All right, man.
Thank you, Michael. I
Thanks, Sid.
appreciate it, man.
All right.
All right, my friend.
He's just an amazing martial artist
I
through and
know.
through,
Yep.
right? He's not just
Yep.
an amazing martial arts performer or athlete. Like don't you just get inspired by life just for
Yeah.
life after talking to him? Like, yeah,
I mean, that's
What
why I think it would be cool to have him, like you said, like on the on the broadcast somehow, right? Like the year that he did because remember when he did the show at Battle? Remember when he was like the MC for that?
yep, I do remember that. That's one of the reasons why I said that.
That was cool. Yeah, really cool, really cool. All right, man.
And then
So
didn't he
next
do-
week we're
I
gonna
think
get
he did
some
like a-
some more people on. Go ahead.
Well, I think he did a performance the last time Charlie Lee had his tournament. He did like a performance there. And it was a
Yeah.
pretty cool because it wasn't just a form. It was a whole like performance. It was
It
a
was-
really cool thing that he had
Launching
set up.
Xiaolin Groove. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks
Okay, so for next week,
for that picture too. Thanks for that picture too, bro.
which
All
one?
right, next week, yeah, we're gonna have another big show. We're gonna have some people on from what all happened over the weekend, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's still things that we hadn't even talked about, and I'm sure that we'll get into it. So, but guys, a big U.S. Open, a big event, and you know what? We're in the middle. We're in that middle part of the year. We're starting really the second half of the season, and you know, it's gonna be
This is
insane.
that second push. For those that weren't there, doesn't mean they're not training. They're training in secret because it's going to be a big push now.
Right. All right, man.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.